Hey guys, Matt here. So I'm currently in the process of working on a video, or at least the data for a video on Backed Stock, which is a B2B crypto holding company or whatever. And in the process of doing that today, I thought about some things relating to my, evolution as an investor from 2020 to now. And I kind of want to do that. And I want to do that using Hyliion as an example, because they make a perfect example as to what I'm talking about. And the reason I'm using Hyliion as an example is that it is a dead, I wouldn't say it's a dead stock, but the company is, the commotion is completely died down for now. Just using this subreddit as an example, 2 years ago, or heck, maybe even 1 year ago, you couldn't post anything negative about this company, not on Reddit, not on YouTube, not on Discord, without getting a ton of hate from Hyliion simps. Well, that has changed now, in which you can say anything you want to negative about the company, and no one except for 2 people will defend you. So what's the point in all this? What lesson can we learn from Hyliion? Especially that I had to learn, that it's a lesson that, heck, I'm still breaking now with Gevo. The lesson in all this is to don't invest in hype, or at least don't invest in hype enough to the point where it's your entire investment strategy. Back in 2020 and 2021, everyone, just look at stock YouTube. Everyone was making these risky investments. There were entire channels based on penny stocks and all that stuff. And heck, at the end of 2020, Hyliion was $40 or $50. That means some dumbass paid $40 to invest in Hyliion stock. And that was entirely based on story and based on Hyliion's word as to what it can do. Because keep in mind, Hyliion was a pre-revenue company at that time. We had no guarantee that Hyliion could do any of the stuff that it said it could do. Yeah, we saw a truck, and that was great, but what about the company behind the truck? Did it have the capital to produce the ERX to production? Back in 2020, did we know that? No. The only insurance we had was Hyliion's word. And, looking back, hindsight, we all know how that turned out. Now, don't get me wrong, they did a lot of cool things. They got a lot of pre-orders. They formed that freaking Hypertruck ERX Council or whatever it was that did them a whole lot of good looking back. They did a lot of cool things, but the one thing they didn't do is release the ERX on time, because they delayed it, and they obviously didn't sell it. And we know now, because of their own words, that they don't have the capital and they don't have the customer to release the ERX at all. So all we had at the time was hype, and based on that hype, we got the stock price up to, well, let me take a look. Heck, we got the stock price up to $50 based on nothing but hype and Hyliion's word and the whole, the whole EV push at the time. And we all know how that turned out. And I know there are, as far as let me show you one thing too. Another thing. Look, I know there are people, especially the commenters on my last Hyliion video, who said that the abandoning the ERX was the best move for Hyliion, and I would agree. Given everything that's going on, dropping the ERX is probably the best thing for the company as a whole. But as an investor, I don't have to freaking care. I don't. Just take a look at Hyliion's conduct, surrounding how they dropped the ERX. On October the 4th, they continued to build up hype. Like I said, this whole Hyliion movement was based on hype and not on actual performance. On October the 4th, roughly a week before they canceled the ERX, Hyliion was on this show talking about promoting the ERX. Promoting it. He didn't breathe a word about canceling it or anything like that. And as you probably know, they didn't just wake up and, spontaneously decided to kill the ERX. They've had to have known for some time. So that means that the whole time Thomas was on this show, he knew that he was going to kill the ERX. And if he didn't know outright, he was pretty close to he was pretty sure that he was going to do it. And like I said, this whole thing was based on hype that fizzled out. And now that they killed the ERX, the momentum has pretty much died down. I mean, now you got these sort of penny stock fluctuations, these 2%, these 3% downs, 3% ups, and until next year, at least next year, when the Cardinal releases, assuming that does even close to as well as they said there is going to go, I mean, that's the next interesting thing for the company. So what can we learn from all this? Well, I mean, the thing that we should learn, and I need to learn, especially as a Gevo investor who's, I'm making the same mistake, is don't invest in companies, or at least don't put your primary investments in companies based on hype alone. I mean, put your investment in companies that actually have numbers that back it up, that actually have revenue, that preferably are already making a profit. Now, don't get me wrong, it's fun to invest in companies like these for spec plays, but that needs to remain all they are. But anyways, take care, have a great day, and eat your vegetables.